Alright guys, it is Saturday night again and I am so excited for tonight's movie. We got the candles going, we got the jack-o'-lanterns lit, and this whole room is looking spooky, because tonight we are gonna watch Hocus Pocus. That's right, one of the very best Halloween movies ever. This has been a super busy past few weeks. As you guys know, if you've been looking, I missed like 2 weeks, maybe even 3 of Saturday Night Snack and a Movie, but tonight we are going to make up for it. We were out on the road. We went to Canada, we went to Maine, we went through Vermont, Pennsylvania, New York, Connecticut, and Massachusetts. That's right, guys. We were in Salem, Massachusetts, where they filmed Hocus Pocus. And let me tell you, it was so busy, we could not even get into downtown to see things like Max Dennison's house, or the school, or anything else that they actually filmed in Salem. But I have something very special for you tonight, because we did go to Marblehead. That's right around the corner from Salem, and that is where they filmed the cemetery scene, where Max Dennison rides his bike through the cemetery after school, and he meets up with Jay and Ice, aka Ernie. They bully him around a little bit and they ask him, "Got any cash, Hollywood?" And then they steal his brand new cross trainers. That is one of my favorite scenes in the entire movie, and that scene right there is actually what made me love this movie so much. So I knew that when I was in the area, we had to go to that cemetery and find the exact spot where that scene was filmed. It's called Old Burial Hill Cemetery in Marblehead, and let me tell you, it did not disappoint. I'm going to take you there in just a second, but let's talk about tonight's snack. Since I've been on the road and I just got home and everything has been so busy, I'm not going to personally make a snack tonight, but we're going to jump back in time because we've done this movie Hocus Pocus at least twice in the past, and both times we made the same kind of snack because it is so perfect. It uses a recipe that I actually got out of the newspaper in, I think, 2004, and it's a recipe for what they call witch fingers. So the first time we did it, we made witch fingers, and the second time we used the same recipe, and we made dead man's toes. So I'm gonna take you first to the cemetery, and then we're gonna come back, and we are gonna make dead man's toes, aka witch's fingers. It's just gonna be a clip from an old video that we already used for Hocus Pocus, because I just don't have time to do it myself this week, but they are absolutely delicious, and we're gonna make them in just a minute. Alright guys, right now we are in Marblehead, Massachusetts, and if you can read this sign back here, we are at Old Burial Hill Cemetery. Right up here from this sign, up these steps, is where they filmed the scene of Max riding his bike through the cemetery in Salem, Massachusetts, where he runs into Jay and Ernie, aka Ice, and they steal his brand new cross trainers. Look at these old headstones, guys. Oh my gosh, we are gonna find the exact location where they filmed that scene. And just going by memory, by what the background looks like, I recognize this thing right here. This, I think, is where Jay and Ice were standing, right by this concrete headstone here that's sticking out of the ground. And if that is correct, then right over here is where Max was, and one of these stones should say Mary Doak on it. And that is exactly correct. Here it is, right here. If you're ever out here looking for this location, Mary Doak on this headstone right here. Now, one of the headstones that was in the background, like right around here, was actually, I think, a prop. It looked a lot like these right here, but I think it was either a prop or it was one that was standing and is no longer here. But this path right here is where Max would have rode his bike through, and he would be right in here when Jay and Ernie pop up right over there by those headstones. This is pretty dang amazing to be standing here right now, guys. I have been watching Hocus Pocus for so long. I absolutely love that movie, and this scene right here in this cemetery is what made me love that movie. When they say, "Got any cash, Hollywood?" So hilarious. The cameras they use to film movies sometimes bring the background closer, so sometimes it's hard to really match it up perfectly, but this is the spot right here, guys. Watch the movie and watch for this headstone right here. This says Mary Doak, and you will know that this is it right here. Even aside from that, though, this cemetery is so awesome and spooky. Just look at all these headstones all bunched together. And look at this. This is why it's called Old Burial Hill. It's actually on a hill here, and it extends from all the way over there, all the way, there's my beautiful wife, all the way over here. And if you were ever looking for a cemetery to do awesome grave rubbings, this is the place right here. Like, look at the designs on these headstones. Look at these right here. This is some spooky stuff. I can't believe how close these are together. This is just, it's absolutely awesome and mind-blowing being here in the first place. And then this is like the spookiest graveyard I have ever seen in my life. Yeah, if we weren't on such a time crunch today, I could just spend hours walking around this cemetery looking at these headstones. I would definitely be doing some rubbing where you take the piece of paper and a crayon and you just lay it over top the headstone, the face of the headstone, and you just, like this one right here, you'd lay the paper right over top of that, take your crayon and rub it on there, and it would transfer whatever's on that headstone, on the face of that headstone, onto your paper. And look at this. This is so cool. Miss Elizabeth Holyoke, wife to Rue Edward Holyoke, born February 4th, 1691, was married August, 1717, I think that says. Died August 15th, I think it says, 1719. So she was married for 2 years before she died. Yeah, wow, this is just amazing. I've probably said it 20 times. But this is the cemetery right here. I'm standing up on top of the rocks, and it is spooky. And one more time before we go, there it is. Max Dennison rides his bike along this path and meets Ice and Jay, where they steal his cross trainers. It is a super spooky night. I can't believe these clouds out here. It's tough to see if I'm zoomed out, so let me zoom in a little bit. Look at this. Look at the clouds right above the RV. It is a perfect night for an awesome, spooky Saturday night snack and a movie. Let's go on in for a minute. Tonight, we are going to be watching one of the most awesome Halloween-y movies ever, and making one of the most awesome snacks ever, and carving one of the most awesome pumpkins ever. Alright guys, so we've got a whole bunch of ingredients here for our awesome spooky snack. We've got some roasting pans, because I don't have any pans that fit in my small oven here. All-purpose flour, powdered sugar, sliced almonds, red decorating icing, almond extract, baking powder, real butter, vanilla extract, and some awesome Halloween sprinkles in tubes. Look at these things. We've got 4 tubes. One of them has black witch hats, ghosts, pumpkins, and cauldron bubbles. We're actually going to use a recipe for these things called frightening fingers. I've had this recipe for a long time. In fact, let's see what the date is on this. This came out of the repository in 2004, but these are so good. They're actually cookies that are shaped like fingers. These are the ingredients right here. And people will actually put green food coloring in to make the fingers green, like witches' fingers. Tonight we're going to do it a little different. We're going to make these dead man's toes instead of fingers, because the movie we're going to watch tonight is Hocus Pocus. Okay, so the first thing it says is in a mixing bowl, cream the butter and sugar. So we need 1 cup of confectioner's sugar. And I know, guys, this is in no way, shape, or form a low-carb recipe, but I had to make them. They're frightening fingers. They're dead man's toes. You can't finish the potion without dead man's toes. Okay, there's a cup of sugar, confectioner's sugar, powdered sugar, and we need a cup of softened butter. This has been sitting out for a little while. That's not really soft enough. I might have to microwave it for a minute. But this is 2 sticks equal 1 cup. So this can go in the fridge. And we're just going to open up the butter sticks, put them right in here, and then stick it in the microwave for, I don't know, 30 seconds. Let them get soft. Partially melted, but that'll work. Pour that right in there. And we're going to use this right here. And we got to cream this together. So that basically just means that we got to mix it up and crunch it together till it's creamy. Okay, this is how that looks. Okay, next it says beat in the egg and the extract. So we need 1 egg, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and 1 teaspoon of almond extract. Okay guys, so what we have to do now is cover this and refrigerate it for about a half an hour. Let it get cold enough where it'll be easier to work with and form the little fingers or toes that we're making. Since we are doing this in the RV, I am using the RV oven for the very first time. So I just had to light the pilot light and it took me about 20 minutes to get it going. Let me show you this little thing in here. It's that tiny little blue light right underneath there. That's a little flame. I had to go outside and turn on the propane. Looks like I need to scrub that down a little bit, but I had to stick my hand back in there and hold a flame on that for a little while till it finally got all the air out and would light. So now I'm supposed to turn this up to 350. So let's see if that should grow in there a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Cool, all right. See, there's not too many firsts left for this RV. I've been using everything in here. And that's a first right there, the oven. We'll close that up for now, let that warm up. Okay, guys, so this stuff has been in here for a little while. Yeah, I think we can work with that. Now the trick is to form this stuff into little toe shapes. Not little toe, big toes, because it's dead man's toes. So basically we're going to take a little chunk here and ball it up. I don't know how well this is going to work. But we're going to try it. I have some parchment paper that I put in here. That's about the size of a toe, I guess. I don't know. Give it a little squeeze on the side there. And we'll just make a bunch of these. Stick them in there, and then they go in the oven. Okay guys, there we go. These are going in the oven. Those are our dead man's toes. We're going to put these in the oven. I think it said 25 minutes, but that was based on if you made them long fingers. So this might take a little bit longer. Yeah, we still got heat coming out of there. Put these in there for a little bit and see what happens. Alright guys, while we're waiting for those to cook, I used the rest of the stuff and I made up some witch's fingers. Those are going to go in next. But meanwhile, while those are cooking, we're going to carve a pumpkin. Hocus pocus! There he is, the spookiest Halloween pumpkin ever. Ha 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 ha! Oh my gosh, I'm such an idiot. Alright, let's get to carving here. If you guys have carved your own pumpkins, or whenever you do, make sure you go over to the Facebook page, that Nate Guys and Gals. I'll put a link below in the description. and post pictures of your jack-o'-lanterns. I want to see the most Halloweeny jack-o'-lanterns ever. Carve them up, light them up, and share them on a Facebook group. You gotta love carving pumpkins, man. Halloween is the most awesome ever. Cut around here a little bit, make it a little more open. Easier to access all the gobbledygook. All right, that looks good. Then we'll dig out the guts. Ugh. There they are, guys. Dead man's toes. And some of these toenails look pretty funky. Alright, guys, there you go. We got our Halloween jack-o'-lantern, Hocus Pocus, our test tubes of, I don't know, whatever they're. Ghosts, pumpkins, black hats, I think it is, and this was supposed to be like cauldron bubbles or something like that. And then we've got our dead man's toes and our frightening fingers. Look at those. They're pretty tasty. And as you see, we just took a little bit of this decorative icing, the red, squeezed it onto the toe area, and then we used sliced almonds for the fingernails and toenails. And we also made those little divots in there to make it look like knuckles. So there you go, guys. Okay, guys, that is it. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I had such a good time at that cemetery. I could have stayed there for hours. It's the spookiest cemetery I've ever been to in my life. I am going to kick back and watch Hocus Pocus, and I hope you guys will do the same at your house.